come be back there. Sorry. Yo, I'll jump out of this water right now.
Do it! Do it! Stand up, be humble.
Just wait till you get on shore, you're gonna fall and catch it, bro.
All talk, Oshawa.
Yeah, you'll see.
Six strangers must return to the wilderness, paddling the old trade routes of their ancestors in northern Ontario. Surviving for 25 days with no modern technology. Learning the old ways from the elders. To reconnect to their past and find what truly matters. Aiming to set more snares and find new supplies, the adventurers decide to remain on Skull Island for another day. Michaela, having seen a beaver dam upriver, gathers the group to discover if there might be a new food source nearby.
My ancestors, I guess, traveling these waterways, they probably had a great deal of patience.
Oh, my leg.
If you hit one rock, you could potentially damage your whole canoe and sink even, but you know, and you got to patch it up and you got to go into the woods, get the sap, and then you got to burn it down, get a fire going, and it's just, there's so much work into such a small little mistake that could potentially, like, you know, ruin an entire day.
Living a nomadic lifestyle during the harvesting season, the adventurers are tired and hungry, making it increasingly difficult to deal with the adversity of living on the land. With her inexperience at processing causing her distress, tensions between Gabriella and the others are boiling over.
Bitch. God damn, you can't shut her up.
I know, but I'm doing something.
Oh, how kind of you.
Oh, yeah.
You're so sweet.
Back. Then you'll be out my first breakfast.
Was that humble song an ironic bullshit?
I'll come be back there. Sorry.
Well, it's just something she throws around. It's just something she says, oh, I'll fight everybody. And then as she gets more and more aggro, it becomes more and more serious of a threat.
Do it! Do it! Stand up, be humble.
And then I just got fed up one day and I was like, all right, bitch, let's throw down. And then, but I didn't, I was a good fighter because I was like, you're malnourished and your like face is the size of my whole hand. So I'm not gonna fight you.
All talk, Oshawa.
Struggling to stay together, the team has abandoned their efforts to find a beaver dam and return to camp with the strain of the last 2 weeks overflowing.
This is supposed to be like a nice experience, like we're having a nice time. I mean, we're having a hard time, but we still have happy moments. We still feel triumph at the end of the day. But if at the end of the day all you feel is like completely defeated, it's not the situation for you.
Yeah. She was talking about going home day one, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm like exhausted, I'm frustrated, but I can only hope that it's gonna get better.
Plus she's like just getting mad at everybody every time someone says anything anyway.
Like if somebody else is snoring, I can't pass out. So I'm always like forever nudging people, throwing little punches here and there just to shake it, but everybody does.
Ask her to help, she'll just get mad at you, so. Oh, didn't you see how I did it?
No, I didn't see how you did it.
Watch how I do
You
it.
wanna show me?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Now you can do it.
I just leave her alone now.
Oh, I'd rather starve to death than freeze to death. If Thanksgiving weekend and Gabriella's not doing more for nobody.
She wants freedom.
Yeah, she just wants to get out of here. That's all she's been talking about for the past couple of days. Every night, she just wants to go home.
Every morning?
Every morning, I too, yeah.
Hey, I just want to go home. Honestly, I'm done. I hate this so much. Like, I just want to die.
Wake up hearing about it, and go to bed hearing about it.
This morning I woke up and said, change the channel.
Yeah.
Heard
it's
this one already.
I don't think it's a fear of failure. I think it's a fear of trying. It's a fear of work. Because I think she just seems to me like she just glided by doing whatever she wanted to do and fought anybody that tried to tell her otherwise.
From camp to camp, making their way over waters searching for game, the inexperienced adventurers have been thrown into a constantly demanding lifestyle they never expected when they began the journey. The overwhelming workload has been both a harsh reminder of what their ancestors faced and how much of their own heritage they have lost. In the wild, every moment counts. The group can only move as fast as their slowest paddler, but they have to keep moving. Michaela makes the choice to lead several of the others across to the mainland to set more snares, hoping Gabriella can overcome her insecurities and do what's best for the survival of the group.
I wanted an experience that was going to change things for me. And that was it, is I didn't, look at all the ins and outs of how I would react in these type of situations. I mean, because I've never in them, right? How am I supposed to know? But I wanted to gain, a lot of different knowledge and figure out what it really was that I wanted out of the situation. I mean, I think I got it. And that's it. It's like I know that, in myself, that I did push myself to this point, and I did, do the very best that I could.
So we'll go around. So you can see that one there. Don't step on it. Now we really got a trail going here. This is good. We have one less mouth to feed. Because
Yeah.
But that's also one less hand to help in camp setup.
Yeah. Well,
that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, Caleb, tomorrow morning will be the first morning we wake up and there ain't 6 of us.
No yelling and getting mad at stuff for no reason. Won't be that bad.
Yeah, I was thinking we get to sleep in too.
I mean, because there's only 5 people collecting firewood. And each person, we're all doing our little jobs out here, but not just for the individual. I'm not going to collect firewood for my own little personal fire. I'm not putting up my own little personal shelter. I'm not smoking fish and collecting fish for just myself. If I catch something, I share it. If I bring firewood, we're all benefiting from it. So there's 5 people working hard.
It's back to that angry 14-year-old kid who, just wants to die, and that's it. It's like half of me doesn't want to, give up or whatever, but it's not giving up, and that's how I gotta look at it. I literally did the best I could, and I've, put myself through more than I ever have in my life.
It's just hard to have a happy attitude when someone is refusing to, someone's repetitively asking for help and then refusing to help themselves, basically.
There's a small little trail here. There's lots of little trails in here. This is rabbit territory.
That's what they like to be in, real thick?
They like to be in thick, protected areas, yeah.
Setting the snares, that was pretty cool.
Something came through this trap.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
Oh yeah, the grass is gonna...
I never set snares before. I never set any kind of traps. So when Michaela set out the traps and she actually showed me the game trail.
We don't know exactly what trail this is. It could be something else, but animals like to follow each other's trails.
Almost like an epiphany, all of a sudden it kind of just glowed out from the rest of the forest. It was pretty crazy. Yeah, it looks like it's been flattened by something. Even on this side it looks a bit flattened. So I think that could be a game trail. A little rabbit. Michaela, over here. I think I found one. I don't know. You walk in the forest all the time and you never really notice things because you kind of just pass by. You have an objection, you have a goal, and you have a place where you're going. But when you actually stop and get down low to the ground and you're looking for a game trail, you just see it, right? And I was actually quite surprised myself looking for the game trails and how easy they were to find.
Definitely, and it's been moved around.
Really?
So this is a proven area that there's something here.
Especially in these forests, man, it's so thick and there's so much stuff on the ground, so whatever's hopping around, you're gonna see the trail, right? And yeah, it was pretty cool.
But something came through here.
That's cool. At least it's a proven trail then.
I think our last trap we set was pretty rad looking. It was like legit. I don't know, right in front of his doorway. So hopefully he goes back in there tonight. We'll maybe have a rabbit or something.
So maybe we'll set a couple more in this area before we check the other 3.
Catch a rabbit, you gotta think like a rabbit. Well, my eyes are not as seasoned as Michaela's, but I'm looking for a game trail, and I figure the first step is to get on their level. Try to suss it out. Now I know they go towards the water, right? Towards the food source. So you gotta get down on that level, and imagine things from their perspective.
So did you find one too, Brandon?
I'm not sure. Maybe that's one. Looks a little more worn down than some of the places.
I've really pushed myself harder than I ever, could in my life. And yeah, I am proud of myself that, I lasted this long, because I didn't, even the first day, I didn't think it was gonna work out for me.
And then she'll complain about stuff that's simply easy for her to go and help herself and do.
Like that's it. I've tried to talk to everybody. I've put yourself in my shoes, whatever, and it's just oh, when I was 19 or blah blah. They zero compassion.
That can be your job, and then she won't do it.
I can't go through it without knocking somebody out.
But like she was saying this morning, she came here for herself, and she's kind of carried that attitude through, and she's said she's got what she wanted out of this experience. So whatever that means.
We're on episode 7, so I've made it through. There's only 13 episodes, so I've made it through majority of them, which is awesome.
And that's the thing too, is you listen to her and you empathize with her, especially yesterday about the animals. I was it's I understand. I know what it's like to kill an animal for the first time, and it's hard and it's heartbreaking. But having said that, she's not learning the lesson that comes out of that. Because she was oh, I don't want to kill anything with a face. She's I think I'm gonna go vegan. And then she was talking later, oh, I'm gonna go get some hot dogs. I'm gonna go eat this, whatever. I'm well, it's still an animal with a face. You just don't see them getting killed.
The last 2 days, just those animals and things have just brought up so much more in my life that I never really worked through. And that's it. It's the last time I felt like that was when I see my dad's dead body. I've already seen it now, and it's
Can't unsee it.
I don't know why this is so hard for me, but it is.
It is. It's not easy for a lot of people.
But it's it's at that point where I have to, because I'm gonna hurt myself or hurt somebody else.
Gabriella's personal history and trauma continues to impact her mental state. For her own safety, medic Rob Evis steps in to assess her ability to continue.
So tell me, we'll start with the negative, then we'll go to the positive, okay? So tell me, really, what is it about this experience that that was overwhelming for you?
Definitely the animal thing.
The animal thing was, yeah.
And I mean, then, I don't know why I reacted the way I do with that, because I've never seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that was kind of the tipping point for me. Is I knew I was staying here, I'm gonna have to see it over and over again. Just the relationships with all of us are just increasingly getting, worse with me and them.
Well, I'm not gonna go out of my way and waste my energy in helping someone who doesn't want to be helped either. So I tried a couple times, talked to her, but she doesn't listen to me. I feel like an a-hole, but whatever.
I feel so alone out here that nobody understands, and I can't expect them to.
No point.
You can only do so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think the best way to help her is to get her out of this situation.
For the others, the strain of this journey leaves them with no time or energy to give Gabriella the care they would want and she needs. Her pain and weaknesses were formed over many years of cultural separation and in the trauma of generational grief. There is a grave history at the roots of who she is today. Her suffering is not unique. Her struggles still true for many. She is lost in her identity. The land, the elders, the teachings, are all small steps in the right direction, but to keep following the path is too much for her at this stage of her journey. Gabriella has decided to leave. Gabriella's struggles with living on the land have forced the others to reflect on what this means to each of them. For Tim, the prospect of passing on his knowledge to his young son has kept him focused on persevering.
It's a little bit harder now.
Despite all the tension, the group come together to create their own ceremony, a circle of friendship, to push out any negative energy and share the best thoughts of each other and their time together.
Because you have been a really special part of this trip, and we all wanted to each say something that you have given us and that we've noticed about you, just so we could leave on a good note.
Thank you.
Maybe you didn't know what to expect from this trip and how to prepare, or we've recognized that you are really stepping out of your element and way beyond it. Like, you have gone above and beyond, like stepping out of your comfort zone. For all of us with a little bit of background being out in the woods and doing these types of things, it's just a step for us, whereas it has been a leap for you. So I know even within the first couple days you've talked about already maybe not wanting to be here, but then you were able to maybe talk you out of it, or you were able to do your own thing and psych yourself up to be able to stick it out for the rest of the day and then the next day. And you've made it to day 10 despite wanting to maybe leave on day 2. You've tried a lot of things that maybe you haven't wanted to try or never thought you would like to try, and some things you've seen and tried that you'll never want to try again. So again, that's awesome that you've been able to step out of your comfort zone in that way. It's impressive.
You definitely have like an uncompromised character to you. And your music and stuff that you brought to the group was awesome. And especially that Humble song. That was great. I really liked it. And you were kind of our musical outlet while we're out here, so it's gonna suck not having someone sing to us.
Sure, I appreciate it. You're rich.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for trying. Like, you came out here and, like Tim said, you came out of your comfort zone and you tried your best. You're doing the best that you can for every given day. And personally, you inspired me to pick up my drum again, and it was something I thought I wouldn't do. And I'm very honored that you gave that to me. So thank you very much.
Play that drum, it'll inspire you to do a lot more great things.
Well, I think I relate to you a little more than maybe others, because we're both from Ontario cities. We're city kids. And you did come, nothing against Thunder Bay, real city. Anyway, no, you came out of your comfort zone a heck of a lot, and I admire that and think it's very good. But I'd like, you were a great cuddle partner too, because you were very, very warm. That warmth extends also to your spirit too. You're very, when you were happy, you were nice and happy. So I'd like to see you in your comfort zone maybe next time I pass through Toronto, and
Absolutely.
If you're ever coming through Windsor.
I'm gonna really miss you as a canoe partner. You always told like the best stories when we were paddling, and you're always so nice and calm in the boat. It was really nice having you there, and I'll miss your warmth as a cuddle buddy too. And I just want to say you're making the right decision, and going forward, this will be good for you. Everything that you went through, and it'll only make you stronger. But it's the right decision. Never doubt that. I'll never hold it against you ever. And I'm just glad to know you, because you're such a outspoken person, and you're so crazy and cool. I really admire that in you, that you're so outspoken.
The biggest part is I didn't know where the situation was going to land me. I've realized there's so many things I've figured out about myself, and things that maybe I've repressed and I haven't dealt with. And I'm glad I had this experience, even though it was for a short while, to bring out these different things in myself. I believe that I have challenged myself to the most extent point that I could. It's definitely my time to say goodbye, and it hurts to say that. But there's just only so much one person can handle, and that's it.
so meet all of you guys, and want me not again. We'll see you later.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Wichita, Wichita, do ya, Wichita, Wichita, do ya day. Wichita, Wichita, do ya, Wichita, Wichita, do ya day. Wichatanea, hey ya, hey ya, Wichatanea, hey ya, hey. Wichatanea, hey ya, hey ya, Wichatanea, hey ya, hey. Wichatanea, hey ya, hey ya, Wichatanea, hey ya, hey. Wichatanea, hey ya, hey ya, Wichatanea, hey ya, hey.
All journeys are defined by the struggle, but together we overcome. We must navigate our pain and let the teachings keep us interwoven as one. Should the trauma of past generations dictate who we can become? When will we see that our collective strength begins in each of us?
So awesome. I've been happy all day yesterday. I was just floating on a cloud of euphoria because I could hear silence. And you guys think it doesn't have sound, but it does. And it's the sound of Gabrielle not talking.
Six strangers must return to the wilderness, paddling the old trade routes of their ancestors in northern Ontario. Surviving for 25 days with no modern technology. Learning the old ways from the elders. To reconnect to their past and find what truly matters. For the first time, the camp awakens with less than 6 adventurers. With Gabriella choosing to leave, the group must now find a way to do as much work as ever with less hands. Morning breaks after their first sleep as 5. The challenge might just be bringing them closer.
Our fire pit's only this big, but the logs were this big,
Yeah.
kind of extending to the door and out the door. So we drag one in, place it on the fire, and eventually this fire just started to creep towards the door, catching some of our bedding on fire.
Yeah, I was catching these boughs right
and then
here.
It's caught some of the extra logs that weren't even in the fire yet. So we had to like throw the door open. Ebony grabbed one of the logs and ran it down to the water and threw it in.
You saved our lives
put it
last
out.
night.
Yeah, I mean, this was our first fire drill is what it was. We did extremely well, I think.
Our first fire. So this
We
guy
didn't do anything. We
wake
didn't
up.
evacuate. We did a ski jump.
I stayed low to the ground. Morale is at an all-time high. That's so good.
For now.
For now.
Until we have the duties of 6 people.
We always had the duties of 6 people.
Our first night with only 5 in the camp was really restful, peaceful.
It was a bit of a somber mood, but it was also, it just felt more calm, and it was very mellow.
I'll get naked and warm you up. You can take your pants off. Ah! It's as deep as it goes.
How's your feet, Brendan? Scale of 1 to 10.
It was this cold. This cold.
Which I did not miss the extra body heat. Because, I mean, the heat was nice, but she used me as a jungle gym pretty much. Woke up with arms and limbs attached weren't my own, you know.
The ceremony closed it really nicely, the goodbye ceremony with Gabriella, so it just felt like, okay, it's done, it's over, we can move on. We had a nice little feast that brought us together. We had ate a bunch of our smoked fish. It was very delicious, and yeah, we just, had a good time, told stories, told jokes. It was Good.
Repeatedly, it was said that the spirits were higher. There was no negative energy to begin with. I think it was the first time that we heard the birds chirping in the morning, you know, because it was just a little bit mellow, calm, relaxed. It was a good feel. And then even packing up camp it was a really good feel this morning. So we can have some harder wood that burns a little bit slower, maybe a little bit warmer. So we don't have to wake up every 25 minutes to stoke the fire. Are you eating a mooseberry or a rose hip? Are you eating a mooseberry or a rose hip?
Mooseberry.
Okay.
It's bitter. And sour. Good though.
Yeah, I'll put a little bit of that.
That's like Colgate or something.
Oh yeah, I want a piece of that charcoal. I want a brush today.
Minty.
I got a couple furs, socks, a clean pair of underwear, and my moccasins that I'd probably take out because we're gonna go in the canoe. And I don't want to get my shoes wet.
Breaking camp also means sorting the items Gabriella has left behind.
Was I the extra large?
Brendan must miss Gabriella because he has her.
Yeah.
You have Gabriella's fur.
To the victor goes the spoils.
The victor?
All right.
On the mainland, Michaela's checking of the snares has been met with disappointment when she finds a rabbit has broken out of the twine. She returns to see camp already broken down.
Just pick up a piece of coal.
Michaela, you got any rabbits in there?
No rabbit.
None?
But a rabbit stole my trap. Yeah, broke it. It broke off the string. So close. And another one was disturbed, like something went by it again, so. No success. No success today with the fishing net. But I feel like it could have been put in a better spot too. It wasn't much of a trap. So it was a pretty good, like a really clear game trail. So we have to look for those clear game trails.
Before we start trampling through the bush.
Yeah.
Ready to leave Skull Island, the adventurers are embarking on their longest paddle of the journey so far, taking them through rapids, narrow waterways, across the dangerous open lake, and into the secluded area of Medicine Beach. For the first time ever, one of them will have to paddle alone, covering the 7.5 kilometers, with waves crashing higher than the gunnels, will be the group's most difficult challenge yet. Having to rely on each other more than ever before, the challenges are binding the group through their shared passion and friendship. Breaking out of the narrow waterways from Skull Island, they are no longer protected from the strong winds on the exposed lake. The change in conditions makes Michaela's solo efforts nearly impossible. Even for the others, the strong currents and choppy waves are proving dangerous. Facing their most brutal paddle of the journey, Michaela's efforts to make it on her own are getting harder. Despite being the strongest paddler, none of the adventurers have experience in getting birch bark canoes across these kinds of rugged waters.
How you doing, Michaela?
A little rough.
Yeah? Do you want a lift?
Yeah, I'll take a lift.
Okay.
I'm getting tossed around by these waves.
Yeah, for sure. I'll just keep the boat steady and you come over to us so I don't knock you too hard.
One mistake, and they could not only tip, but possibly lose the canoe forever.
Michaela is now down to canoeing solo, which she's comfortable with, but today with the wind was just a lot for her to handle. And yeah, it's tough to watch your teammates go through that, because when you're on the water, there's nothing you can do. We can't tow them, we can't do anything for them. It's just, they have to just go about it, which sucks for us, because we felt like we wanted to do something, but at that point in the middle of the water, we just can't.
We're over a quarter full and taking on more. You gotta counter the weight. It's unreasonable. Well, you don't want to get in there because you're gonna trash your boat on the rocks.
That was rough. Whoa, those waves are just pushing me and pushing me. It's definitely a lot harder when you're on your own in this boat. I wasn't like scared. I had good balance and everything, but it was just slow going. Very little power. I think eventually the wind would have pushed me into that shore and it would have been okay.
Yeah, what I was worried about is you trying to get around this rocky point.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It crashed into
Exactly, yeah.
Best used for navigation, shorelines are often avoided by experienced paddlers. For birch bark canoes, there is the danger of submerged rocks, outcrops, branches, or deadhead logs that can breach the hull. Even a small split could flood the boat and set the group back days.
It was definitely the most difficult that we've had, but it was also the most fun because we had waves and stuff.
Very choppy water again, and our boat was taken on at least quarter of the way full, halfway, so we had to pause to bail her out, but we made it, and there were some close calls in terms of tipping, but we were able to counter the water's weight as it shifted.
It was pretty good for me and Sam. It was fine. It was a little cold, but took on a little bit of water. But I know for Caleb and Brendan, they had a really hard time with it and really affected their mood.
We made cedar tea at least.
I was wet too, not as much as you, but...
Oh yeah, you're wet? Yeah? Okay. Let's see, where's the wetness? Where's the wetness? I don't see it. Oh, that's hardly damp. Maybe moist, I don't know.
We're not totally dry.
No matter how difficult or dangerous the paddle had been, the adventurers are closer than ever. Instead of the pressures and strains getting the best of them, they continue to laugh and joke as a team, overcoming every challenge together.
Talk about shock treatment, man.
I was already soaked, like, from waist down, so I thought I might as well take a bath. And yeah, we got a fire going, warmed up. Now I'm 100% dry now. Yeah, it's nice, definitely super nice. And it's like marsh all behind us, and it's just beach up here, so it's, and there's a lot of seaweeds sticking up, so I think maybe if we put our nets in today, I think we can get a good catch, hopefully.
Yeah,
Keep it fresh. That's exciting.
We did it. And the smoke's in my eyes. Like, it just woke me right up. Better than Red Bull. Better than Red Bull.
Once ashore, their teachings keep them focused as they get a fire going to warm up and dry off before they find the best position to set up shelter for the night.
Sorry,
Are you just carrying it like this?
No, yeah.
Like, more difficult for...
The teachings are becoming second nature to the group. As they set up after a long day, they are surprised to find an elder has visited them on the beach.
Ani, sashoki ba to shnam? Sashok na ida kapit ko sneg bane. Sashoki shatuna, wana kasi agwin bike ng gunakshik. Chumi ko etstes ko din nem gibe to sneg. Kakano mo nem des, kanya ban chabao din na kya. Migay niyo din na kya chaya. We should again shine. Come shakade semude.
Where they had once been learning the physical needs of survival, they are now excited to find out what medicines and gifts the land has surrounded them with. More importantly, they are beginning to see that the teachings are not just about the health of their bodies, but also their spirits. Out of respect to the Creator and the land, Elder Pauline begins with a smudge ceremony. She prays to the four directions as she prepares for her first teaching. Respected throughout communities, she is often sought for her knowledge of the land and her lifetime of experience.
Migi to gustong sindawan sa kanumagi amadam skake. Kabugusen mana David Sigit, sinad magwing kanagego. Minat sa kwes maing lisib na doon at sinad magwing. Genywe na sa kanumagi I'll ask our Creator that He will lead me through every word to teach you people the plants and the herbs that's out there for you to learn that will help you sustain your life through the rest of your days on this world. The only thing you can harvest with this in the fall is mainly the trees. See all these trees out here? They all got oil on them. Every tree, there's so many of those trees out there, it's all medicinal. My main teachings today is to make a minigan. It has 5 ingredients to it. Can someone tell me what's this?
Balsam fir?
No. Come on there, Thunder Bay guy.
White spruce?
White spruce. White spruce. Balsam.
Cedar.
Willow.
And bear grease. So I put that all together. Of course, I shape these first, cut them down into little pieces, or sometimes I just use the bark, same as the balsam. Even the red willow, I shape all the bark off, and the cedar. Put them all together, and I steam them for 3 hours. It has to be 3 hours.
As she taught them her wisdom of the land, many of her words were sacred and meant only for the participants and their own journeys. Inside and out, the adventurers are learning what survival truly means and how medicine is something that we can each bring to others and the world with the right mind and purpose. On the land, listening to the elders, the teachings are growing from knowledge into wisdom. By living and surviving in the wild as their ancestors, the group have moved towards a new stage of their reconnection, the inner peace that comes with reflection. They are healing their own pain and creating their own identities. All of them are realizing the journey is now more than physical and that medicines cure more than the body. Spirits must be nurtured, and healing happens through our relationship with each other and the land. At last they see that the true lesson is that they must share what they learn, and that their healing must become the medicine they share with others. As Pauline taught them her wisdom of the land, her sacred words had a profound influence none of them had expected when the day began.
Today was probably the most in-depth teaching that I've had from a medicine woman. That it's not just about knowing what the medicines are, but it's about your presence, it's about being thankful, and it's about the prayers that are involved. That's a big part of being a medicine woman. That was really struck me today.
She knows my aunt from back home in Thunder Bay, so that was pretty cool. It's kind of funny how we kind of met, not in Thunder Bay, but we had to come way over here to meet, which is pretty interesting.
It was a great lesson, and I wish we could have had more time with her. Wish we could have had hours, days with her. What we had was a really beautiful experience, and what she said really was quite inspiring.
Very, very knowledgeable. Just a joy to listen to. You know, I don't want to say I have favorite elders, but she's definitely one of those highlights that I'll remember. You know.
I could have sat here until the sun was gone, not worrying about a shelter, just listening to Elder Pauline talk. Her wisdom was something that I've been fascinated with, but I've never looked into myself. I've never looked into the medicines and how all of these trees are, you know, can be so helpful in a variety of ways.
Returning to camp with gifts of traditional medicines and tools, the adventurers are looking at the world and their journey with new eyes.
It's not just about knowing what the medicines are, but it's about your presence, it's about being thankful, and it's about the prayers that are involved. That's a big part of being a medicine woman. That was really struck me today. And she really reminded us to be thankful to the Creator, and just to be thankful every single day. And I was kind of feeling very emotional while I was sitting there, and I was just like, yeah, that's so true. Like, I need to do that more in my life. Like, wake up in the morning and just be thankful, and also like even just doing the offerings and the prayers for everything that you do. I try to do that as much as possible, but it's always good to be reminded to do it even more often. And she's talking about, you know, the trees were given to us, the water, the earth was given to us from the Creator, and you have to thank the Creator for that.
For Ebony, the return of Midigan has been a powerful reminder of her personal journey and the change returning to the land has brought to her life.
It was a medicine my mom used a lot, and it was a medicine that she requested that I use in her last rites, and it brought a lot of emotions back to me all at once that I thought were kind of buried. When I decided to volunteer, it was kind of something my mom had pressured me into, saying like, this is gonna be good for you and you're gonna learn so much. And I was like, hey, I'll go out and I'll learn some stuff and it'll be great. You know what I mean? And then I went through that experience where she passed away, and even in thinking about the medicines, I was like, well, those traditional medicines didn't save her. The Creator has a plan for all of us. And it was a lesson for me. And it was a medicine for me because it changed me. It changed the way I look at the world. It changed the way I look at other people and my time. And just the way I'm gonna learn lessons from now on, because it came full circle in the way that she's getting exactly what she wanted me to learn through just sending me off to do this, you know what I mean? And then you realize that's something that's a learning process for yourself too, that these are people that I'm gonna learn from, and that maybe I'll teach something too, like, I don't know what, but, but I'm definitely learning a lot from these people. And just realizing that in the way that Pauline was talking, they have their own medicines. Every one of them has their own medicine. And even Gabrielle, she had her medicine. And it's just about how you utilize it. It's about recognizing it, and you have to stand up and answer the call, basically.
Medicine is a circle. By healing ourselves, we become the healers. We must share to survive, unite to thrive. On the land, our bodies and spirits can grow strong together. Every choice shapes our legacy. Can we save our future by healing the past? Are we brave enough for a new beginning?
Udebel itigan gitsimando. Pinanako mo no tagi jigak. Minegi melomat siak. Mininan maskawi ziwen. Nestaga sentagus win. Mlogono manan. Nesta shawene manan. Anot nesta kagege. Hinabu agege kon.